This is Kick Kune Do. Today we're going to follow up on our counters to the split entry. So I'm here once again with Sean Zerger of Zerger Academy at Fighting Arts Collective in Midtown Toronto, and we're going to talk a little bit more deliberately about two things we discovered while playing around with what to do when someone is doing split entry on you.
Yeah. So
Roll.
take it away.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're looking at is if I'm doing a basic response to the split entry. So when I shoot, I've got my cover up and I notice that this is coming through. The other thing that happens when we're doing split entry is because my first punch got center line, it's going to fall into the Bong Sao position. So when that happens, boom, and this punch comes in and I'm already in the Bong Sao position, this elbow control comes up really nice. So I could sweep it across, I can move right into body control and up with the suplex, turn them around, throw them on the ground, beat them up. So the other thing that came up really frequently was if I go into this and he hooks, now I need to step inside that hook. I've already got reference on the other hand. I don't have to worry about that so much. This foot could or not be coming in, doesn't really matter because I'll close off all that action by stepping into the body. And now I can use this armbar to facilitate Kenjit, and over he goes and stomp. So yeah, and we can work that up to speed where, you know, as I throw this in, and just drive it in. Now, you know, if your partner's got good core, then you can slam in with that shoulder. Otherwise, you might want to be a little bit more gentle. But here, you get in here, it's a pretty good position. And again, you want to be in tight with the body. Pop the hip away with your pelvis. And then you just turn left. Well, you can turn the other way too and put him on his face, but for our purposes, I thought I'd do something nicer. So here, when this comes in, if this turns, if this is coming to more outside, see how I end up getting this channel to the inside? I'm inside this arm and I'm inside this arm. I don't really have to worry about this one because it gets collapsed into the body when I go by. I'm driving into the opposite side hip. And then I'm going to pick up the elbow, pitchfork, over, turning to here. So, or you can run away. You know, if you break that up pretty good when you throw them, it's not going to come back real soon. So again, we've got here, and we've got here. Nice simple entries, and they actually limit a lot of the incoming throws that he could be potentially still planning. So if I punch here, this is going to naturally come over here. I'm going to sweep this. Now I would think about driving right for the body for a hit here, but you can also think about just driving right through for a shoulder butt to the body, and there's your pickup. So again, boom. See, there it is. Boom, boom. See how natural that comes down? And the reason is because I'm still covering the center line, because if he tries to follow through here, I've got my Bong Sao structure, or my rising block structure, depending on which art you're doing. So if I come in here, boom, see this to here. And the other one was, if I come here and he reaches around this structure, now I'm on the inside, I bring this forward, trapping the knee, and the whole throw comes this way.
So I just had a couple thoughts while we were doing this. That constant forward pressure is what's making this very difficult for me to find space. And remember, we're obeying the rules of I'm only allowed to move as fast as he's moving, and vice versa, right? So I'm not kind of freaking out, kind of like, I jab, going kick faster than he's moving. That's not allowed, right? So when we think about how is this functioning, if I'm split entering, I'm not popping back right away if I were really doing it, right? I want to attack. I got like pop, I got him, so now I'm going to follow, right? So my energy's forward. So when he has dissolved it and is coming forward at me with that body lock, pretty difficult to change my line all of a sudden to a retreating action, which is partially why this is particularly effective. Kind of one of my thoughts as he came in, right? I'm trying to obviously free the leg, roll this around. That's a lot of motion, by the way. Let's say he just picks those two, and I'm going to try to roll with it, right? And try to get out of that position. Again, trying to react to what he's doing at the speed he's doing it at. Right, so, and then eventually we can play this into a game. So in one episode I filmed with Sean, we filmed some impromptu, just playing around, playing by an understood set of rules, right? I'm not trying to pop him one in the face if I see the line. He's not doing that to me. We're trying to take the line, maybe show it if we got it, right? And you notice this reminds you of some other drill we may have seen. Something that looks like this. What's it called? Hubot, I think. We're taking that idea and putting it in a different platform, right? It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's kind of a fun way to play, right? You can ramp up the intensity as you get better and better, just like with Hubot, you can ramp up the aggression, but it's just a great laboratory, right? The laboratory doesn't always have to look like this, right? It can be something much more involved. I can be like, oh, here, right? And then he takes it, right? He does some weird kung fu shit, and I'm like, oh, crap, I gotta do something about it, right? And it becomes a much more interesting game. It doesn't have to be very classical at all. It could be built off an entirely different idea.
Yeah, it's beautiful, the flow exercises from every art that uses them. In my mind, that's where you transition from doing your forms, doing your art, doing your drills, into learning fight timing. Because the most important thing about martial arts, once you have the how, is the when. And the drills lets you discover the tempo and find the moment in the tempo to interject your own phrases, right? So it's, excuse the music talk there, but it's, music is great because it breaks time into a tempo. And here we are, we're flowing with this, even though it's outside of the original forms of the drills, or the original shape of the drills, and we're using that principle, and we're seeing all sorts of other opportunities now. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, wonderful. So it's a great time, as always, here with Sean Zerger at Zerger Academy. Thank you for the time and instruction. Always wonderful to be back. Come check them out, Zerger Academy, JKD?
ZergerAcademy.com.
Okay, ZergerAcademy.com. In the meantime, this is Roy Kick a Legend. Keep your chin down, elevate your striking.